We have with us Mr. Waweru Karanja. Waweru Karanja is the Deputy Director for Pricing at the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, and he's been leading this process of the review for the pipeline and secondary storage tariff for Kenya Pipeline, and he'll be giving us a brief. So Waweru, you can just go ahead, tell us why we are here today, what we've done in regard to the review, and then
Thank you very much, Immaculate. Good morning, everyone. As we've been saying this morning, the function today is a result or is a component of statutory requirements under the Constitution of Kenya and the Energy Act 2019. Our job, as it is to make sure that all stakeholders are involved in public consultation. So anytime there's a change under the Energy Act, all the prices and tariffs that we do under the Energy Act, whenever we have a change, whenever a tariff period is coming to expiry and a new tariff period is started, we are compelled under the law to come and talk to wananchi, to hear their views and to consult before these go into effect. So this particular tariff application was submitted to us by the Kenya Pipeline Company. The submission was done early this year. It's a proposed tariff for secondary storage and transportation. It's basically the charges that the Kenya Pipeline Company will charge to transport fuel products using its pipeline infrastructure. So there have been proposals made this morning, and I'd also like to say that this is our fifth, I think, the final stop. We are mandated to go all across the county. So we have been all across the country, I beg your pardon. So we've been across all the county clusters in the country. We've been to the northern part of Kenya, we've been to western, we've been to coast, we've been to eastern, and we finish here in Nairobi. So this is the final consultation, after which we shall take the views from the consumers and then sit down and determine what tariff shall be approved as guided by Section 11 of the Energy Act. Thank you.
Let's just talk about the effect this is going to have on consumers, especially on the end price at the pump. Maybe you could just tell us 2.4% incrementals. This might be, a bit hard for the common wananchi. What does this mean for them?
Thank you for your question. Of course, as per the Energy Act, we try to balance the needs of two parties. On your left hand, you have the consumers. Consumers should be treated fairly. Consumers should be charged fair prices that reflect the costs incurred and should not be overburdened by unfair pricing of products and services. That's on one hand. On the other hand, we have providers of infrastructure in the country. For any provider of infrastructure in the country, there is needed periodic upgrades, periodic maintenance, periodic upgrade of software. Like as you heard in the presentations this morning, there are several investments required, such as investment in automatic gauging system, the SCADA system. These upgrades, just like your car that you need to service, are necessary. So as you said earlier, 2.4% is correct. The end effect in the pump use will be about 12 cents in Nakuru, going to 14 cents in Nairobi, and rising to 16 cents in Kisumu. So we are not saying that just because it's 12 cents to the end user. Say, for example, a litre costs 185 shillings. If the litre costs 185 shillings and 50 cents, then the new price will be 185 shillings plus 12 cents. So it's not very big in terms of the relative impact, but again, we are not saying that it's just done for the sake of doing it, just because it's small. It's necessary in upgrading of the software. Without these upgrades, then we'd go into risks of short supply, we'd go into risks of pipeline leakage, and those losses would be much more than the 12%. What are 12 cents? What it would take to repair that damage would be more than to have good existing infrastructure.
For many Kenyans, the incremental would mean a lot of flexibility for KPC. Maybe if we could just touch on that.
A lot of flexibility?
Yes, on the pump pricing.
Well, the pump prices as they're regulated, first of all, let me say that petroleum pricing is a regulated product that entities, including oil marketing companies, infrastructure suppliers, transporters, they are not. It's a regulated industry, means that the government comes in and sets certain price limits that cannot be exceeded. Now, in terms of Kenya Pipeline, we do allow them, as per the legislative instruments that we have, we do allow them to earn a rate of return on the investment, but at the same time we also allow them to upgrade their infrastructure every 3 years. So we're not saying that KBC unilaterally can ask for any price. They can come to the regulator and ask for 10 shillings per litre. We have a methodology of calculation, and you saw in the presentation today, using the rate of return methodology, using the regulatory asset base, we are able to show the justification for this cost income. So we're not giving, whether it's Kenya Pipeline or any other company, unilateral space to declare any tariffs. There's a strict methodology which we follow, and we make sure that the result does not impact the mwananchi too much, but also at the same time, it does not lead to degradation of the infrastructure.
Thank you so much.
Maybe just what key factors informed this increase of tariffs?
It's in law. It's in the Energy Act, and it's in the statutory instruments. That since it's a regulated entity, they're not. Kenya Pipeline is not allowed to make supernormal profits and regulate how much they can charge. Now, when you regulate an entity how much they can charge, you need to make an allowance for them to be able to upgrade the infrastructure. So as I said in my earlier example, just like a personal motor vehicle that you service, when you buy a car from the factory, from the dealer, you have to service it maybe once a year, twice a year, you have to change this part. So for mwananchi to get access to reliable pipeline infrastructure, there has to be operations and maintenance, there has to be investment into additional capacity as demand grows. So those expansions, they cannot undertake it because they're on a fixed tariff. So they have to come to the regulator, and we have to see what is just and reasonable, and then we allow them to take that revenue requirements and do the upgrade. So that's what informed. The system upgrades are what informed the nominal increase.
And you've said you've also been in other places, other counties. How has the feedback been?
We take the feedback. Of course, mwananchi sometimes might be concerned about the rising cost of living, but we're very able to explain. We're very able to explain what is occasioning these rises. And what I've noticed is that in the other places where we've been all over Kenya, as these fees rise, and we actually stand up and we explain to them that for you to get a reliable service, it does not come for free, then they're able to actually understand, and they're able to actually agree with us. And you can see that every single stakeholder we've gone, they've asked us those same questions, and we've been able to show that for you to get reliable service, there comes some times where you have to upgrade the existing infrastructure, and I have to say they've been very understanding.
What are these places that you've been?
We go to clusters. We cluster counties in clusters. So in Garissa, we serve that part of the country. In Mombasa, we serve those counties in that part of the country. In Nakuru, similarly, we serve the central part of the country, and then Kisumu. And then we finish here in Nairobi.
So we've been hearing rumors or facts theory that the cost of fuel in Uganda is cheaper than Kenya. Yet we understand we have a port and also closer to the port. So is there a fact in that rumor, or is it just a lie?
Well, I wouldn't want to comment on rumors without base statistics, but what I can tell you is that our petroleum pricing is priced according to the legislation. So if you look at the petroleum pricing regulations of 2022, it will explain to us clearly what is the cost build-up, as we call it, for that final retail price. So some other countries, some other jurisdictions might not have a similar structure of cost build-up than we have, but our cost structure is very transparent, it's communicated to everybody, and it's published publicly, is what I'd like to comment.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.